In this lesson, we're going to talk about how importing and exporting works in Figma. So when it comes to importing, Figma supports JPEGs, PNG, and SVG files. You can also import sketch files and a newly supported format, PDF files that can be imported when working on FigJam files. Now, there are a couple of ways that we can import files. First, we can simply click and drag an image, and you can see that we will have a rectangle silhouette that says copy. And when you release that and drop the image, a new file will be created, and the image will be added to the file. We can also head over and select the import file button here. Once you click that, the system file window will appear, and from there we could choose our image and select open to import our file. In addition to importing files from the file system, we can also import image directly into files. To show this, let me just click the plus icon here to create a new file, and I'll just create a blank document here, just like so. Let me just create a frame here also, so that we can see our imported files clearly. And I'll just choose the desktop frame here. Now, just like what we did earlier, we can drag an image directly onto our canvas, just like so. Now you'll see I've dragged a simple icon onto our canvas here, and it imported directly where I let go. You can also drag and drop a folder of images onto the canvas as long as the images are supported file types. Figma will place the images side by side onto the canvas, and this can be a real-time saver. Another way we can import images into our file is by using the Place Image feature. To do that, just go to the File menu here, and under the File menu, choose Place Image. Command-Shift-K or Control-Shift-K is the keyboard shortcut. From here, I can select as many images as I'd like, and then select Open. Then once you do that, you'll notice a red badge appearing, letting us know how many images we've selected. We can just click to drop the images one by one on the canvas if we need them in specific places. Clicking and dragging it will dictate how large or small you want that image would be before you let go on that area. Otherwise, you can just click the Place All button here, and it will drop all of the selected images in one place, and you can just reposition them after the fact. So let's say you want to export your file. You can export anything as a PNG or JPEG or SVG or even as a PDF. However, before we can export, we'll need to have an export setting set up. You can add export settings to the canvas itself, slices, any objects such as vector objects or text objects, groups, and frames. To demonstrate this, let me just create 3 rectangles here, and I'll just give each rectangle a different color. Alright, so just like so. Now let's start by selecting a single layer, either by choosing it from the Layers panel or by clicking on the canvas. And then here on the Properties panel, let's click the plus icon next to the export to add a new export settings for that object we've selected. So you'll notice we have some options here. First, we have our multiplier. This dictates the size of our output, the rectangle we've selected, and right now it's set to 100 pixel by 100 pixels. With our multiplier set to ×1, our rectangle will export at that same size. If we change the multiplier to ×2, those pixel values would be double. In addition to the multiplier option, in the drop-down menu, we can also manually enter our value. You can set specific pixel dimensions. If we wanted this rectangle to output at 500 pixel wide, we can enter 500W here. If we want to output it at 500 pixel tall, we enter 500H here. We can add multiple export settings for a single layer. So this allows us to export the same asset with a variety of settings in just one single export. Also, just be aware that our exports get their file names from the name of the frame group or layer being exported. Our layer is currently named rectangle and therefore would be exported with the file name rectangle.png or .jpeg, depending on what file you exported it to from this dropdown. When we change the layer name to red square, the exported file will be named redsquare.png. You can also append the name of your exports without needing to change the name of the layer specifically in your file. With the suffix field, for example, if I type Android only in the suffix field, the exported file name will be changed accordingly. Now let's look at some additional settings. If you click these three dots, you'll notice a checkbox for Ignore Overlapping Layers. This affects whether the selected layer is exported in isolation or not. When this box is unchecked, any layers that overlap the selected layer will be shown in the export. To illustrate this, I'm going to move our red square behind our blue square here, and then when I select preview, which is one of the cool features of Figma here, we can see that the preview is showing our blue square overlapping the red square. If we once again select Ignore Overlapping Layers, you'll see that regardless of what other layers may overlap it, only the selected layer will be exported. So the preview tool is really useful. So once you're happy with the selection, just choose the export button, choose your export destination, and just click save. And you have successfully exported your file.